Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend roundup for the week of August 8th through August 14th. The theme for me this week was, it seemed to be like the disturbance of our perfect order. With the Ten of Cups reversed that we got at the beginning of the week, it seems like a lot of us had a breakdown in our family structure. There was a division or separation of some sort within the family unit, within our personal relationships. That could have been between us and a significant other. And going back to last week, it really seems the emphasis is around significant others, romantic relationships, but it doesn't have to be. Excuse me. But there definitely seems to have been the breakdown of a relationship, or even the breakdown of an entire unit the the center relationship, the foundation of that unit. And once it broke down, it caused a lot of problems with the family unit as a whole. And like, this isn't going to be for everybody. There are, what, 7 billion people on the planet, and even though it's probably only 7 of the 7 billion watching, it still is not going to resonate with everybody. So anyway, like I said, we, had this Ten of Cups in reverse, which showed the breakdown, of some type of family unit or structure, and it could show that um, we had been putting on appearances, or maybe not even intentionally. Sometimes the way people perceive things is not the way it is, but on the outside, probably to other people, it seemed like, we were just in this perfect relationship, this perfect unit. Like I said, at the beginning of the video, there was a disturbance of the perfect order. And even if it wasn't, our own true perfect order, the world sees it as such, or the people that we came in contact with just really thought that everything was okay. And the truth of the matter was, behind closed doors, it is absolutely, or was absolutely, not okay. It's probably a lot of sweeping things under the rug and not dealing with particular issues that we need to deal um, with this other person we were in a close relationship with. And you can only sweep so much under the rug before you get that big lump up under the rug, and then your ass is going to trip over it. So that's what happens. It causes the breakdown in relationships. And I think as a result of that, we was probably feeling bad, wanted to spend time alone. There was, a period of introspection. When we're feeling bad about things, when we're dealing with stuff, we don't a lot of times feel like being sociable. But I feel like there were some people that rallied around us, the friends, the maybe even coworkers or family members, who was like, look here, I can't let you just sit around moping. I'm going to get you out of the house. Or, even if they just came by and hung out with you for a while, um, you were able to get into a situation. You were able to put yourself in a situation, or you ended up in a situation where you were able to communicate with other people. There was probably exchanges of ideas. Some people shared their expertise about things that they had gone through, or similar situations that they had been in. But whatever it was, it gave you the ability for communication, give and take, like I said, for the exchange of ideas, for the exchange of information. Um, and this probably makes you feel better for a while. With the three, this came with the Three of Cups, if I hadn't mentioned that. And I think the Three of Cups showed up on Tuesday. Um, the thing about the Three of Cups is the Three of Cups can also show that there is overindulgence, there's excessiveness. So, if we had some people that rallied around us, it's like I said, after a bad breakup, you're going out with your girls or your guys. So there may have been, some drinking, some partying, and it may have been excessive. We may have really overindulged, just trying to get away from the BS, trying to forget about for a while, just trying to have some fun, just trying to kick it. And that's cool. But we may have overindulged a little bit, and that's okay. Because what ends up happening, or what ended up happening, is, I think on Wednesday, the Palace of Swords came up. And I feel like that is kind of piggybacking on the Three of Cups. These people that gathered around us, that encouraged us to let it all out, that encouraged us to get it off our chest. that encouraged us to communicate. It helped us to get to a place of higher clarity. It helped us to get to a place where we were able to rise above the mental funk that we were in, the emotional funk, just not being able to think and see clearly, which is so often the case when there are breakups and separations. When people we love are no longer with us, when we have an ending to those things, then we oftentimes get dark. We get in a funk, just like this dark cloud hanging over our head. So I think that um, like I said, with the rallying of friends or supportive people with them, and even after this um, event or this coming together was over, I really really feel like it allowed us. Oops, I'm sorry, I need to stop moving because I'm like shaking again. I think it really allowed us to get to a place where we were able to think clearly, or at least more clearly than we had been thinking before. It allowed us to separate the emotional aspect from, just the straight facts and see things in black and white. Just, you know, um, just straightforward info, like my daughter says, straight facts, no printer. No time. No, I love that. I love that saying, straight facts, no printer. That is just so cute. Anyway, I really think it allowed us to separate the emotional aspect and just see things for what they were. And this, like I said, this is in the Palace of Swords. And it may have even been, with the people that we had that gathered around us that tried to help us come out of this, they may have taken us to somewhere that was nice, because the Palace of Swords can represent or the palaces themselves can represent an environment that we've created for ourselves or that we end up in. Um, but it can also represent an actual place. So, if somebody came to take us out, they may have taken us somewhere that was really nice, in order, I call it celebrity status. I think I said in the post, um, like, penthouse status, just the real deal, Holyfield type stuff. So, um, but going back to, the Palace of Swords. I also feel like the Palace of Swords is a place where we can end up under a lot of scrutiny, where we're being judged, where we're being, held under the microscope. So within the events that were going on this week, there may have been somebody that was really judging us, that was really scrutinizing what was going on with us. And the more I think about it, I also see this, if there was like legal separations, divorces, I see this as being the high courts, people that are going to be analyzing your situation from beginning to end. As we start to try to divide assets and stuff like that. So, I can see that as maybe some of us actually were in the process of starting proceedings or court proceedings for legal separations or divorces, or putting child support orders and things like that in place, and maybe even restraining orders. I hope that's not the case, but brings me to a good point, because we had the Seven of Wands reversed come up, and the Seven of Wands reversed can suggest that we are giving our power away, that we are, just being stepped on, that somebody's just really, just doing us dirty, and we are allowing it. So, the wands are physical energy. So, and I hope this is not the case, but if there was physical fighting, and there could have been, between you and somebody else, then I also see, back to the Palace of Swords, where that may have gone into the courts, and there could be restraining orders or orders of protection or things like that. I really hope that's not the case. But back to the Seven of Wands, like I said, reversed, it talks about us giving our power away, giving our energy away, letting somebody just do us dirty. It also suggests that we could be fighting for the wrong things. When the Seven of Wands is upright, that talks about continuing to stand for what you believe in. But reverse, I think that suggests that we may actually, either are fighting unnecessary battles, just stuff that, don't even put your energy into that, because with the things that are going on, you probably need to save your energy for more important things. But it could be, being petty and instigating stuff, and creating situations that weren't actually there, fighting for the wrong thing, where we need to be talking about the bigger picture. Maybe somebody in the relationship is fighting over a toaster they bought in 1983. Let that shit go. No, that's not, that's what the Seven of Wands could talk about too. It could also talk about, you know, um, refusing to back down off of a point maybe that you or the other person has put out there, and you are fighting and fighting and fighting for something that just simply isn't right. So be sure that, if this is the case, if this is the case, that you really think about and go back into the quiet, because the number that rules this reading, that rules this week, is the number 7, which is why I was talking about perfect order and introspection, because those are the things that sevens represent. So if you are fighting for the wrong things, if you have made a point or put a point out there or something like that, just be sure that you really go back and, take some time to think about whether or not you are fighting for an appropriate cause, for an appropriate situation. Don't compromise your integrity. Don't compromise your authority or anything, because you're out here looking like a damn fool because you're fighting for the wrong thing, because you're fighting for something that doesn't need to be fought for. Um, so with all of this going on, the good news is the Fool comes up, and the Fool talks about new journeys, new adventures. It talks about, just going forth with blind optimism. And the Fool was upright, so that's good. That generally means that even though he's going forth with blind optimism, and he is, after all, the Fool, when the Fool is upright, then, he's generally making good choices. He's fearless, but he's fearless in a good way. And this makes a lot of sense with the Ten of Cups that came up reversed, because that is endings. Tens are endings and new beginnings. And then so the Fool comes up, and the Fool is a major arcana. And the Fool is talking about this new journey, this new life, this whole new just shebang that we are about to venture into. So it makes a whole lot of sense. And excuse me, once again, let's turn this down a little bit, even though that's like my favorite song. So anyway, I think the Fool coming up in this reading is absolutely great, because it shows us that there are new things out there, and that we do come to a point where we just, we get fearless about it. We like, man, F it, fight, go with it. Let's get out there. Let's do something. Let's leave all this crap behind, because it needed to be left behind, and let's start anew. So, that's what the Fool is telling us. And then the Five of Cups comes up, and the Five of Cups reversed actually comes up, and it supports even further for me that um, we're moving on, because the Five of Cups, if you look at the card, it generally shows somebody who is in despair. There are 3 cups that are spilled over in front of them, and then there are 2 cups that are behind them. And they are so focused on the fact that the 3 cups in front of them are spilled over, and that they've lost the contents of those cups, that they don't realize that there's still 2 full cups behind them. There's still offerings behind them. Um, so with the Five of Cups in reverse, with the Five of Cups reversed, it is saying that we are finally looking away from those 3 cups that have spilled over in front of us. We are no longer crying over spilled milk. We're on the Fool's journey, and we realize that there are actually 2 extra cups that are being handed to us, and they are full, and we have an opportunity to start anew with whatever the contents is that are in these cups. And to wrap up the week, we had the Queen of Coins reversed. The Queen of Coins reversed especially, in the content of what's, or in context with what's going on this week. The Queen of Coins suggests to me somebody who might be concerned about whether or not she can continue to support herself and those that depend on her without the additional resources that she had, or that came to an end with the Ten of Cups reverse. And with this, the Queen of Coins reverse is probably putting a lot of time into work, um, and not necessarily, and she may be isolating herself from the people that she actually loves, the people that she's doing the work for, and she's working specifically for material things. Um, and it could be because material things have been lost in a separation. They're being divided up. So everybody's not walking away from a situation with everything that they had. And so the Queen of Coins may be just really laser focused on the fact that she needs to replenish these things that have been lost. She also may be trying to create because when the Queen of Coins comes up, it talks about spending money to beautify the home. The Queen of Cups feels like, um, if the home base is beautiful and nice and peaceful, that this creates, and I think I said it this way, it cultivates the ability for just phenomenal expansive growth for phenomenal expansive growth for the people, that she cares about and that she loves. She just may not realize that she's working too hard for these material things, um, and actually kind of ignoring the people that she loves. um, it also could suggest that, the spending is excessive. It's fine to try to get back the things that we've lost, and yeah, I think that's a natural thing to do, but we could be putting a little bit too much into trying to compensate for the things that we've lost. We could also be putting a whole lot of nurturing into other people and not nurturing ourselves. Like if there are children involved and there is divorce, if there is separation, then we could be trying to overcompensate, for the children, doing everything that we can to make them feel better and to minimize the blow of the separation, or these losses that are, occurring right now. So we could be actually on the flip side of not spending enough time because we're working too hard. We could be actually doing too much, over nurturing people to the point where we might be smothering them. And it's like, these people that we love so much, we want to make sure that they're okay, and we could just be on them like white on rice. Hey, you good? You got everything? Can I do anything for you? And they really don't need all of that. You really don't need to spend in excess. You really don't need to over nurture, and you really need to make sure too that you're taking the time to nurture yourself, because just like you're concerned about other people that are hurting, well, you're hurting. So you definitely have to make sure that you do what you need to do to get yourself through this situation. You need the energy to propel yourself through this situation, because everybody pretty much who's whatever's left of the family unit is depending on you. So if you're not okay, they're not okay. So take some time to nurture yourself, and the money and the work that you're putting into trying to, beautify your home or make things comfortable or replenish things that have been lost. The Queen of Coins reverse is also saying to make sure you take the time to actually enjoy this stuff, because you can't take it with you. So if you don't enjoy it while you're here, then what is the point? And that, my friends, is the weekend wrap up. So let's just see what this week brings. Let's hope that we get some better stuff going on, because even though there was losses and things like that within this last week, even though there has been heavy situations, like I said, we've got the Fool, and we've got the Five of Cups reversed. We've obviously got friends and people that support us with the Three of Cups. So while some of these things were heavy and painful, there was just as much, I think, opportunity for happiness and growth. So thanks, y'all. That was the weekend wrap up, and look forward to seeing you again next week.